October 24th. Not October 10th. I wasn't sure I was gonna come back here. After my last video, at first I was like, it will be great to have a little extra time to think. And then with that extra time to think, I didn't really want to think. I didn't really want to take that time to think about what needed to be thought. Because this is what it came down to. With me taking this step back and kind of coming to the conclusion that I wasn't going to be doing my trauma therapy homework anymore. Or at least writing out my timeline. Well, watching the YouTube videos, because I'm still working on the timeline, sort of. I'll explain. I almost felt as defeated as I did trying to watch the YouTube videos. I came on here, filmed the video, turned the camera off, and I just sat. For a couple days, it kind of just resonated that, like, I wasn't doing it, and to be 100% honest, even now it's still resonating that I'm not pursuing that path. I've been for like 7 months, 2 years, 7 months, mulling over the fact that I'm supposed to be doing this trauma therapy homework, even while I was avoiding it. I knew that this was the thing that I was supposed to be doing to get better, because I had a conversation with my psychiatrist where I explained all my symptoms, and in explaining my symptoms, I was looking for a medication that was going to help me. I was looking for medication that was going to help with the nightmares, with the memory loss, with the fogginess, with the PTSD. And she straight up told me, she was like, until you get past this trauma therapy aspect of it, you're gonna stay where you're at. And that broke my heart, because this trauma therapy homework, the YouTube videos aspect of it specifically, have become one of the hardest things to do in my current life. Doing them and failing specifically over this past 8 months, as you could see, it kind of started this pattern of depressive episode, self-loathing, backtracking, and being stagnant, trying to pull myself back out of it, trying to rush against time, trying again the trauma therapy homework, falling back into the pit. And this cycle of falling, get back up, falling, get back up, falling, get back up, was starting to get a little tiresome, and it was starting to get a little bit draining, because I started to feel like I was not moving towards anything. health progression, my goals. And I'm not going to blame my progression on just me trying to do my trauma therapy homework, because like there's a million and one other reasons that I'm not where I want to be. And my trauma therapy homework is not the sole reason. It is a reason. It's not the excuse. And in me making the decision, not alone, it was made with the help of my dad and my therapist, which, by the way, it was approved by my therapist that I take a step back. It's not like I'm giving up and just not doing trauma therapy homework. I took a very big step. I've been writing my narrative for about 8 months since, you know, the new year started. Not my new year, but the new year. And I turned it in. I turned in what I had. We haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. I mean, we talked about it the day that I turned it in, but not since he's read it. I have been wanting to heal from this breakdown, and I feel like I've been working towards healing in so many different avenues, but with me being so avoidant, I've avoided like the center point of the main issues. And with that being said, right now I'm struggling with accepting this decision that I made and how that's going to affect my project and my life and my overall being. With that being said as well, I didn't feel like I could come back here and continue. I attributed my health and progression in direct parallel to my ability to finish and do my YouTube video, specifically trauma therapy homework. And me not doing that now in my brain sort of feels like I'm delaying my ability to grow and progress and heal. And I need to get past that. And that's why I'm back here. That's why I, against my better judgment, have decided to continue this. And let me explain. My biggest fear before this breakdown was living life. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We're just going to get straight into it. I was homeless for a good part of my, teenage years, and I didn't have a worker's permit or a social, and I didn't have a way to go to college or get a job after high school, and I was homeless. So I lived in a very boxed off, closed off world. Very secluded, very closed off. And in this world, I wasn't exposed to the experiences that a lot of people were. Money, socialization, work, routine, finances, same thing as money, responsibilities. And for the 3 to 4 years that I was homeless, I was just on the internet every day, I'd wake up, I'd hop on the internet, I'd hop off the internet, take a nap. That's all I would do. And by the time I was 21 and I got my worker's card, I hit the ground running. The same day I got my worker's card, I got my driver's license. I got my job within like 6 days of that worker's card. I went straight into it. And being exposed to everything all at once, it was very overwhelming, but it was also very exciting. And I mean, eventually I got an apartment with my dad, and like I figured out bills, and I figured out relationships, and I figured out the things that I felt I needed to figure out to the best of my ability. But I never figured out what you're supposed to want to do with this freedom and opportunity. I would get in relationships and would want to plan us. You know, I would want to plan, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna aim for? What are we looking for, you know? But the second that I would get out of a relationship, it would be a day-to-day life. Get up, go to work, come home. Get up, go to work, come home. Get up, go to work, come home. And I couldn't see past a week, a month, even a year. I couldn't, I can't, I still struggle with that. I can't see past the near future. My biggest fear being the future. Like, how do you plan ahead? That is until I had a psychotic breakdown and lost touch of reality. My biggest fear is no longer living life. My biggest fear now is living life and fumbling it. But again, as I've said before, I don't want to live life in fear. And I started being fearful, not doing my trauma therapy homework, because I was afraid that I wasn't going to progress, that I wasn't going to heal, and that everything that I'd been working towards these past couple months with my project and with everything that I've been doing was pointless. And I had this day a couple weeks ago where I was thinking about my project, because, you know, I realized I wasn't going to do my project anymore, and I wasn't going to do my trauma therapy homework, and I was thinking about what I was going to do. And I made the decision that even though I wasn't going to do the project, I was still going to try to do the list to the best of my ability. The reason behind that being that this list has motivated me and has kept me focused on a direction, which is what I've been missing practically my entire life. I've been walking this earth without direction. And the direction that this project has given me this year has been the best feeling in the world. Feeling like I'm working towards something. Feeling like I'm heading towards something. Doing the things that I've always talked about but never moved towards. It's been really fun. And even though I was like, I'm not going to do this project anymore, I still wanted to try. And so I started mapping out how I was going to try to, you know, fit this list into like 4 months. And I planned out going to Mount Rainier. I was supposed to go yesterday. I say I was supposed to go, spoiler alert. And this was a couple weeks ago, so I was not planning on for it today. I ended up not going. I'll explain. Hold on, you'll see. I ended up rewatching all my videos because I wanted to see what had led me to where I was. And I bawled my eyes out. I bawled my eyes out because I saw two things. I saw the fact that I was trying so hard for like 8 months and had been struggling that entire time. I kept coming back here each month talking about how I was going to do better next month, and each month I came back talking about how I just couldn't. And the next thing I saw was how each month I came back I was doing a little bit better than the month before. And how even though I kept talking about how I wasn't doing this and how I wasn't doing this, how I wasn't doing this, I looked through the things that I had tracked and I saw how I was making baby steps towards everything. Towards everything. Not in the ways that I wanted to, but in the ways that life allows you to naturally. And maybe I might not be able to complete my entire list. I'll accept that now. But I've worked towards something this entire year. I started volunteering. I planned to go hike this mountain. Not all the mountain, Mount Rainier, as if. But my tires that I was supposed to get by now were not meant to make that trip. So we ended up canceling it because my tires. But in approximately, I don't know what day it is today, I'm tired. It's approximately 2 days. I am hosting a Halloween party. A couple months ago, I decided that instead of doing the 6 staycations, I was going to throw a big Halloween party. I thought I had mentioned that on here, but when rewatching the videos, I never mentioned that. So whoopsie doopsies. I don't want to give up. I see the purpose behind this project, and the purpose is that it's leading me towards something, and that something is passionate, ambition driven. It's a spark. And it's very rare that I find those these days. It's very rare that I find those since my breakdown. And I don't want to let go of it just because it's not working out the way that I mapped it out. So I'm sorry if this isn't working out the way that you had hoped for. But if you're willing to keep sticking it out with me, I'm willing to keep going. I'm sorry it's not what I promised it to be. I've read 2 more books. I'm a book behind. I don't have the books here. I do have the books here with me. I read The Art of Letting Go, Get Out of Your Own Way, both phenomenal books. The reason I'm a book behind is because I try to read the English grammar book workbook. English grammar workbook for adults. I can't even read the title. So I try to do the work pages, I'd get like 80% of the work pages incorrect. So if you know that workbook and you can do the workbook without getting 80% of it incorrect, you're intelligent. I am not intelligent. I've never been called stupid in my face that like abrupt. It was difficult. It hurt. But I'm at work. Oh yeah. I was never going to talk about my job because I think there are boundaries that are important to have, especially between myself and you. But I recently got my 3rd promotion. I have been working my little tails off in the past couple months since starting at my job. The only reason I'm talking about this is because I may not have been able to have put all the energy, effort, time, love, whatever, into this project the way that I, spoke about in the beginning of this. But all that passion has been going somewhere. I started this door dashing, stressing about making a penny, no money in my savings, like struggle busing. And today, not only do I have money in my savings, who am I trying to impress? You. I rented out a venue for my Halloween party. I took care of all the food and beverages for it, all the decorations. I am gonna be getting new tires soon. Keep an eye out for that. I've been working really hard in different avenues of my life, and I need to be honest about that because I've only come on here and shown you guys where I've been lacking. And in reading The Art of Letting Go, I read a lot about being fair and nice to yourself because that's something that I really struggle with. And this past couple weeks, it's something that I really had to reflect on a lot because I'm not good at losing. And I saw this as a loss. I saw this as me quitting. And I can't do that because I'm quitting. And this journey just took a turn. And I guess if you're still down to stick it out. Stick it out. Let's see what happens, y'all. All right. Thank you for watching. I gotta go back to work. I did this on my break.